Hi friends, welcome back to Brilliant Blue Reviews. My name is Heather, and for the first time in quite a long while, I'm doing a book review today. I do not have the book with me. I actually returned it to the library earlier today. This book took me a really abnormally long time to read because I've had a lot of things going on in my personal life. I've been very busy. We are in a new home. We moved a couple weeks ago, and I still don't have everything unpacked or hung on the walls or anything. So that's been a whole thing, and we've just had a lot of stuff going on. It's been a very busy time for our family and things like that. So I kind of got out of the habit of reading, mainly because I was too tired at night to even read a little bit before I went to bed. I was falling asleep like as soon as I got into bed. So this book took me like a month to read, and I'm so sorry about that it's been such a long time since I have posted a book review. But the book that I am reviewing today, this is going to be kind of a quick one because it's the 7th and final book in a series. And as far as I know, it's the final book. The book is Deception at Thornecrest by Ashley Weaver, and this is the 7th book in the Amory Ames mystery series. And I have reviewed other books in this series on this channel before. This is a series of mystery books that are set in a variety of places, actually. Everywhere from the Mediterranean, London, New York City, Paris. They go all over the place. In the 1930s, this particular book was set in April of 1934 in Kent, in England. And this one, unlike the previous 6 books, was set at Milo and Amory Ames's home of Thornecrest. So Thornecrest is the name of their family estate where they live in England. And all the previous books had taken place somewhere else in the world where Milo and Amory were traveling. Or like for the one in London, they actually also have a flat in London. And that one, which was about the theater, I can't remember which one it was. That one was set in London. They did have a flat in London, so they kind of lived there too. But this is the first one that's been at their family estate where they live most of the time. And it was kind of a good way for her to conclude the series because it also kind of transitions into the next stage of Milo and Amory's life, which is not really a spoiler because you find out about this in the previous book. And that is that Amory is pregnant in this book. She's very pregnant, and she has the baby at the very end of the book. And I won't tell you what she has or what they name it or anything like that. You'll have to read the book and find out for yourself. But they kind of end with the birth of the baby and then like how life is going to go after that. So the author could obviously continue the series if she wanted to, but she ends it in a nice way if this is how she wants to end it. So the basic mystery in this one is there's a spring festival near where they live, very close to their property. And on the day of this big festival, which Milo and Amory are at and having a good time and everything's going great and it's a lovely spring day and the whole village is there and everything, this one young man dies. And at first it looks like it was an accident. Upon further inspection, it becomes very apparent that he actually was murdered. And so, as is typical for Amory in all of the other books, she kind of infiltrates herself into the investigation and figures that she can solve the mystery either more quickly or better than the police can. And in this case, that's actually true. Now, the added complication of this one is that she's very pregnant. And her husband, Milo, does not want her going out and about and putting herself at risk or the baby at risk while she's trying to investigate this murder. The other thing that makes this story a little bit more interesting is this is where they actually live. So instead of dealing with a bunch of strangers like they do to some degree in most of the other stories, they're actually dealing with people that they live near, their neighbors and friends and people that they know. And so having to go through people like this as suspects is, rather challenging for her. There's a lot of wrinkles in this investigation. But just in the story in general, another thing that happens is that a long lost, previously existence unknown relative shows up at the very beginning of the book. This is a person that they didn't even know existed, and shows up at their house and wants to like become a part of their lives, and that throws a whole wrench into everything too. So it's a complex story, but it's perfectly easy to follow. There's nothing, I never felt lost or confused or anything by what was going on. It does take quite a while to get to what actually happened. And it's a good conclusion. How she exactly got to the point where she could figure all this out, I'm not exactly sure. There's a couple of really touching moments between Milo and Amory in this book that I really appreciated. I originally started reading Ashley Weaver's other series, the Electra McDonald series, which there's one more book in that series that's coming out very soon, so I'll be reading that as soon as it's released. And I actually like that series better. But I've grown to really love the Amory and Milo Ames mystery series, because when I first read the first couple books, I didn't like Milo, the husband, at all. And I didn't like how he treated Amory. But as each additional book has gone, I've realized that there's actually like a really deep love between them. And I've actually really grown to really like their relationship. In some of the books, Milo isn't in there too much, and then I would kind of feel a little bit disappointed almost. The more Milo and Amory got to interact in the books, the more I liked them. So they actually became a very strong central pair that really made these books enjoyable for me. And that was something I especially loved about this one. I actually got very teary at the end of this book. It was very emotional. Because of that, I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5. So I'm giving 5 stars to Deception at Thornecrest, the 7th book in the Amory Ames mystery series by Ashley Weaver. I highly recommend it. However, especially for this particular book in the series, you're probably going to need to have read the previous 6. I mean, you probably could pick it up and just read it, but you're going to be missing a lot. So I would only really recommend this one if you've read at least some of the previous books, and particularly the 6th book that came just prior to this one. Thank you for taking the time to watch this book review. If you liked it at all or found it helpful, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any of my upcoming book reviews. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.